Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. Well, Donald Trump has been making some real interesting threats and not realizing that no damn body is afraid of the U.S. anymore. And he is telling Iran if they do not open up the Straits of Hormuz, they're going to obliterate them. He's been using that word a lot, obliterate. Donald Trump, you've been fighting Iran for 4 straight weeks. You ain't obliterate them yet. But you love that word. Oh, we will obliterate. You're not even obliterate. If anything, they're obliterating your ass. You and Israel are being obliterated. And I'm loving it, y'all, because there's a lot of countries out here saying they are no longer afraid of the US and Israel. They're not scared of Israel either. Boy, how the tides have turned. Y'all really misjudge this adversary. You did not read the room right. You didn't do it. You didn't do your homework on this adversary called Iran. So, there's a lot of confusion over the Strait of Hormuz. And let me just clear up a few things because I've had someone reach out and say, it's open. It's open. It's open to countries that Iran is allowing in. They are right now allowing China, Japan, and India. They're allowing them in. All other countries, y'all, are not going in there. They're not going in there. And there's a reason why they're not going in there. Number one, I don't know if any of you realize this, during the time of war, it is not unusual for oil tankers to have their insurance canceled. And that's what happened to the majority of them. The insurance company, if they feel a ship could potentially be blown up out there, they will cancel that policy because these oil tankers cost millions and millions of dollars and they don't want to pay out on that. So it's a very common thing they do during the time of war. They will cancel the insurance policy of these oil tankers, and that's exactly what happens. So the companies will tell them just to sit there, and that's what they'll do. So when it seems like things are getting better in the region, then they can reapply and get their policies back. So as long as they have no insurance, which the majority of them no longer have insurance, they're not going to go in there. So that's what's happening. That's why I got that story coming up at 3:45. Australia is only 30 days away from running out of gas. Over 100 gas stations are now closed completely down in Australia. They don't have no fuel. And their tanker can't get in there. Their tanker don't have any insurance. So they can't just go in there and get oil. They can't do it without an insurance policy. So Australia is desperately reaching out, but here's the problem. The countries they're trying to get help from are in the same situation they're in. And also understand, this is coming to America, y'all. This is not just Australia. It's going to be other countries, including this country. Why do you think Trump is desperate to get it open again? Because if he don't do it, this country's going to run out of fuel and be just like Australia. And they already said Israel and the United States are banned from going in to the Straits of Hormuz. They are not allowed in. Why do you think Donald Trump is desperate and doing all this military build up? He knows what's coming. this place is going to run out of fuel. And right now, it's not looking real good because Iran refuses to talk to Donald Trump. They're saying no. Yes, we are going to run out of fuel. It's hitting Australia, but it's going to hit other nations in the coming weeks. Most countries have what's called a 90-day reserve. They got enough fuel for the next 90 days. But if this war is still going on beyond that 90-day point that countries will hit, you're going to be out of fuel. You're going to be out of fuel. And Donald Trump has been feuding with Canada. Canada could have been potentially a country that could have helped because Canada got fuel. But Donald Trump done screwed up the relationship with Canada. Canada's not going to help us now. They're not going to help us. Donald Trump messed up that relationship. So Canada is running to China for all of their help. So they're in a good place because China is allowed in and out of the Straits of Hormuz. But America's not allowed in there. So, yes, it's going to get really bad. It's going to get bad. So, he threatened 48 hours he would bomb the Straits of Hormuz. There's a couple of things I need to show you. One is don't forget to pick up your hair products for 40% off. Make sure during checkout you're using the Most High New Year 26 to get your 40% discount. Because some people are still just checking out and you're not putting in the coupon code. Make sure you use it to get that 40% off. All right, now there's an article that came out just a few hours ago. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen. Because Donald Trump was talking a lot of crap about going in there and obliterating them and bombing them. And you know how Donald Trump don't stick to anything. Well, here we go again. Trump says U.S. is talking with Iranian leader as he extends deadline for striking power plants. Ladies and gentlemen, he ain't talking to Iran. Let me tell you something. Every time Donald Trump is telling you he's in talks or negotiating, Donald Trump is lying. Just look at the fact that nobody will help the U.S. with the war. That should pretty much answer how much negotiating he's doing, which is none. Countries are not talking to Donald Trump, and Iran has come out in the media multiple times saying they will not be talking to Donald Trump. They will continue with the war. They have said it multiple times. So he's not telling the truth once again. He's not telling the truth. Iran said there is no conversations with Donald Trump. So he extended it because Donald Trump is afraid. And number two, putting ground troops in there and bombing is just going to end in disaster for the U.S. It's not going to end well. So, y'all, let's get to the videos. You know, and he needs to stop getting on TV every day lying about blowing up Iran and all this nonsense that he's talking. Donald Trump, they're blowing your ass up right now. You know, it doesn't pay to talk crap when you don't have the upper hand in the whole thing. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Today is Saturday at 4:44 p.m. and Donald Trump just posted that he's about to obliterate Iran's biggest power plants. Just yesterday, Donald Trump said he's already won the war.
He said the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that?
Oh, I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
So how much longer should the American people
You said I'm open.
Again, earlier today, he posted this. The United States has blown Iran off the map, and yet their lightweight analyst, David Sanger, says that I haven't met my own goals. Yes, I have, and weeks ahead of schedule. Their leadership is gone, their Navy and Air Force are dead, and they have absolutely no defense, and they want to make a deal. Again, just yesterday, he was bragging about how easy it is to open up the Strait of Hormuz.
Opening the Strait of Hormuz is a simple military maneuver.
Very simple.
Yeah, but what did you mean by that?
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us, but, we don't use it. At a certain point, it'll open itself at a certain point. But we've defeated the enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick group of people. The leadership is gone. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone. The anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have is all gone. Everything.
Okay, so if Donald Trump is accurate, y'all, I want you to think about this. Yesterday, Iran bombed Dimona and bombed Arad, which are two Israeli nuclear sites. How did they do that if you eliminated everybody? You eliminated their army, you eliminated their air force, you eliminated their navy. According to you, nobody should be fighting you back. So how are they fighting you back on a regular basis if you got rid of everything and you bombed them and you killed them all? So how are they fighting you every day? How did Dimona and Arad got bombed yesterday if you obliterated everything? See, this is what I'm talking about. Every single day, they're dropping 500 to 700 bombs on Israel. But according to Donald Trump, they just destroyed everything about Iran. See, this is what I'm talking about. This man does nothing but lie. He does nothing but lie.
Everything's gone.
So, with his latest post, there's only one thing to conclude. Our gas prices are going to continue to go up because obviously Donald Trump has bitten off more than he can chew. If you've been following the news, there have been more drone strikes, more ballistic missile strikes happening to our allies over there in the Middle East, even though Donald Trump and Whiskey Leaks Pete keep saying that they've degraded Iran's capabilities. Well, you may have thought you did, but it looks to me like it's actually the other way around. Why do there continue to be boom, boom strikes if the United States of America is winning? And why is Donald Trump sending troops to the Middle East? Yes, U.S. troops are heading to the Middle East. Donald Trump is obviously lying to the American people, ladies and gentlemen, and you are witnessing the largest cover-up in American history.
Time is ticking after Donald Trump issued an ultimatum to Iran: open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours or America will attack their power plants. Iran has...
Now, let me tell you something. Every time Donald Trump lies, like this, he's literally putting all of us in danger, because what you're going to have is people traveling overseas from the United States believing, oh, well, we're winning that war. Oh, we're safe. We're winning the war. And they're not going to be safe at all. In fact, there was a warning that went out and said for Americans, they are advising Americans not to leave the country because you're not going to be safe. Number two, they just found out yesterday, because they were saying Iran didn't have weapon capabilities that went beyond that region. They just found out yesterday their missiles actually can reach the UK. So they can fire off missiles from Iran and it will reach Europe. So they're admitting that for the first time. So Donald Trump is dangerous, because if a missile is headed our way, he'd be on TV telling you that we're winning, we got the upper hand, and we bombed everything. They don't have nothing left. And then in the meantime, some bomb or some drone is on their way to America, and we get no warning. We don't have time to run for cover or nothing. Donald Trump is a danger to society as far as I'm concerned. He is a dangerous person to have in charge during a war, because his lies can be detrimental. His lies can be deadly. His lies can take lives. Let's go on.
Has responded, saying if that happens, all American information technology and desalination infrastructure will be targeted. Europe is on high alert after Iran launched missiles 4,000 kilometres away, double the distance thought to be possible, proving they could reach London, Paris or Berlin.
We're halfway through the 3-day Islamic Eid al-Fitr holiday. Families are out enjoying themselves, people having picnics, kids having ice creams, running around, playing. But at the same time, by night, there are drones and missiles flying across the Gulf in both directions. And there is a fear here that this could still get a whole lot worse. President Trump has issued this ultimatum, which expires on Monday night, for Iran to release its stranglehold, its chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz. If not, he says he's going to decimate or obliterate Iran's power plants. Iran has said, fine, we'll do the same to all US-linked power plants on this side, the Arabian side of the Gulf. And so there's a kind of curious intake of breath here collectively. Is this about to get better or a whole lot worse? And meanwhile, you've got a number of ships heading this way that the US has dispatched from East Asia that are carrying 2,500 Marines, a Marine Expeditionary Unit, which is prompting speculation that the Americans plan to possibly invade, seek and hold part of Iran's Gulf Islands, maybe Kharg Island, its main export terminal, which would again massively escalate this war. So it doesn't appear to be winding up soon, despite some of the contradictory comments coming out of the White House.
Now, Trump just announced yesterday that Iran has 48 hours to open up the Strait of Hormuz, or he's going to obliterate their power plants, starting with the biggest one. Now, people just made videos talking about, oh, y'all worried about gas and oil going up, man. It don't matter if the Strait of Hormuz closed, they can find another way. Apparently not. Like I was telling y'all, you just have to do your research. Stop listening to these people on social media. This is what the Strait of Hormuz look like. Y'all see what those little dots, you know what those little dots are? Those are oil tankers. They're just floating right there. They can't get through because Iran's blocking it. That's why Trump just came and made that statement. Y'all got 48 hours, man, to unblock this thing without a threat. If not, these 48 hours up, we're going to hit your power plants. These right here. He said we starting with your biggest one. That's why I was telling y'all. Everybody keeps saying, oh, he could just go around, go find another way. No, this is the shortcut. This is how they're going to save money. This is the shortcut to get their oil through. This is what U.S. been using forever, y'all. If they try another route, guess what? More money spent, prices going up, oil, it's going to cost more. Trust me, y'all. I did my little bit of research. I don't know a lot, y'all. I know a little bit, just a little bit. But that's why he made that threat, y'all. He said they got 48 hours. Made that threat Saturday. That's it. Oh, matter of fact, there go his right there. He did a post on it. 48 hours. He said he's gonna obliterate all their power plants. Don't forget, he said earlier that he said I could take out their electricity now. He said we could do that. Look, we could do that in an hour, and it'll take them 25 years to rebuild. He said, but we ain't gonna do that. That's what Trump said, y'all. I keep telling y'all, man. Everybody talk about, man, y'all panicking for nothing, man. That they ain't finna do nothing. Man, listen, if Iran don't open that Strait of Hormuz, man, where that oil and stuff go through, man, they gotta make a move, man. They can't have them block that off, man. That's how we make our money, man. If not, man, the prices going up, man. I'm telling you, everybody gonna be riding electric scooters and electric bicycles, electric cars, man. I'm telling you, boy, people don't want to pay them high behind gas prices, but that's what it is. I told y'all, they dead serious about the Strait of Hormuz. There ain't no other way. That's why Trump made that threat, man. He said 48 hours, man. Hey, man, it is what it is, man. If you didn't know, now you know.
You know, brother here sounds a tad bit naive. If they don't open it up right now, they are kicking the US's ass. I don't know what he's reading. He doesn't sound, he says he knows a little. Trust me, he may not even know a little from the way he sounds. Right now, Iran got the upper hand. Do you really think they're going to let the US take out their power plants and not fight back? They've been fighting back hard the entire time. And I mean hard. I remember it was about a week ago, they rained 700 bombs down on Israel. I mean, they are bringing it. So no, bruh, if they don't open it in 48 hours, Donald Trump already said he's extending the time because he's rethinking it. He knows that's not a good decision. Remember, Iran has been training for ground war for over 20 years. You got to think about all of that. So, you know, I just tread lightly on what he just said. I think he is probably believing the propaganda that they are just tearing Iran up. America's kicking. He's probably buying into that propaganda. But let's go on.
And knowing is half the battle. Love y'all. Be safe out there. Big Duke out. Y'all thank me later.
Trump gives Iran 48 hours to open the Strait of Hormuz. It's not happening, Trump. Yeah, he tweeted it on the 21st of March, which is yesterday, right, about 11 a.m. So I'm expecting by the 23rd, 11 a.m., if the strait is not open by then, which is tomorrow, let's see what you're going to do, Trump. Let's see what you're going to do. What you going to do? Bomb, bomb, bomb? That's not going to solve shit. It ain't going to solve nothing. See, what happened is Trump thought Iran was Venezuela. The same way he did Venezuela. Just send in special forces, bomb up some shit, capture Maduro, take him to New York, lock him up. And the Venezuelan people were like, yeah, please, Trump, hold great one, Trump. It ain't happening like that in Iran. So this is a different ideology that's hidden back. They're fighting back. You notice they're fighting back. Trump didn't expect a fight back. He didn't expect that. Now Trump is showing, well, I'm not negotiating. You're not the one who was not negotiating. Iran told you that they're not negotiating. All of a sudden, Trump is tweeting, well, I don't want to negotiate. It's not that you don't want to negotiate. Iran told you that weeks ago. The first weekend, they told you that. They told you that we're not negotiating. Okay. We're going to hit back. That's what the Iranians said. And they're doing that. The Iranians have intercontinental ballistic missiles, two-stage missiles. You know what a two-stage intercontinental ballistic missile is? That means when it's fired and it's traveling, this missile, it opens like a shell, right? And another missile comes out of that one and keeps doing it and keep going. Two-stage. And it wouldn't surprise me if they got 3-stage ballistic missiles. It's a 2-stage ballistic missile. One of the missiles is encased in another, and that one is probably encased in another. So it travels for a certain, probably 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, drop off one missile, because that's probably burnt out. The one enclosing the casing now comes out and continues the journey to get to.
Hey Taram, you are fired. You are familiar with this sentence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The central headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Donald Trump is having a nigga moment with Iran via Truth Social and Twitter. And this scenario is hilarious until you think about the fact that actual lives are being lost and they got drones and nukes. Like they not just running a friendly fade. There are actual lives at stake here. And it really just goes to show how unprofessional like the White House is. Because why are we letting niggas know exactly what we finna do to them before it happens? Over fucking social media. Holy hell. And honestly, it makes sense for Iran to respond back like via social media, because like they didn't start this shit and they have nothing to lose for real. United States has everything to lose. And it's like moments like this that really show how unserious the United States leadership is right now. And I keep remembering the fact that they had up like Twitter in the fucking war room. Our leaders are absolute fucking dweebs, bro.
It's official. It looks like Affordable Care Act subsidies are going to expire at the end of the year, and there really is no effort to stop that. Why? Because the House Republican caucus released their plan over my work by subscribing to my Substack.
Dana Marie McNichol has more on that 48-hour ultimatum that the president issued yesterday online. She joins us from West Palm Beach, Florida. Dana Marie, afternoon.
Hi, Kevin. That's right. The president's rhetoric is continuing to intensify on this war. His latest threat, an ultimatum on Iran. He says either reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face those powerful strikes on power plants, as we just heard Trey expand on. Now, the president posted this warning, threatening to obliterate Iran's power plants within 48 hours from this exact time point. Now, Trump posted that at 7:45 Eastern time last night. So the countdown continues to tick towards Monday night. Now, the Strait of Hormuz supplies roughly 1/5 of the world's crude oil, but has been largely limited since the conflict. Now, the president has called NATO allies cowards for not sending warships to help defend the strait. He claims because the U.S. doesn't use the strait, this should be a global effort. Now, this morning, the NATO Secretary General said countries support the U.S., but are still in the planning phase of sending help.
European allies and partners all over the world have used the last couple of weeks to make sure that we come together, that they started planning to see what we can do collectively.
Back here at home, Trump says tomorrow he will send ICE agents to help security and immigration efforts at airports across America. He's slamming Democrats for the ongoing partial government shutdown as it enters its 5th week. Now, the president says Tom Homan is in charge of the operation.
There's a lot of things that TSA does. It doesn't require like specialized training, right? Like you have exit lanes where people leave the airport. Now people try to enter those exit lanes. That's a security breach. Well, an ICE agent can maintain those exits, and that allows a TSA officer to go back to screening to move people through quicker.
Now, another way you might see ICE agents at airports starting tomorrow, Tom Homan said they can also check identification before people enters the screening area. So, of course, all eyes will be on the airport tomorrow, Kevin.
So last night, Trump went on Truth Social to threaten Iran, saying that if they don't open up the Straits of Hormuz, he's going to start taking out their power plants. You know, like most leaders do, taking to social media during wartime to make threats. This is a sign of a man who is weak, who is uneducated, and mentally ill. And he has surrounded himself with people who are even worse. Pete Hegseth is not a qualified Department of Defense. He's an 8-year-old boy with access to military weapons. And then he woke up this morning and said that now that Iran is gone, not sure how they're gone if he's still threatening them, that the Democrats are the biggest threat to the United States. Is he going to start taking us out too? He has positioned thousands more of our service members over in the Middle East to get ready for boots on the ground. And they're already in harm's way because of him. And when he tried to pull a fast one and say he was going to lift sanctions on Iranian oil, they said, sorry, we don't have any for sale. Trump is not an intelligent man. He doesn't know how to negotiate. He only knows how to bully and destroy. And all of this chaos and all of the money that is coming out of everyday Americans' pockets at the gas pump and everything else that we buy, by the way, it's going to affect everything else that we do. This is all him. And he still can't tell us why we're there. So we'll see what happens next. I'll be following, of course, every day, but it doesn't look good.
Well, this is not good at all. Trump is now resorting to threats to Iran regarding how desperate the U.S. position has gotten. He says that if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, which was 5 minutes ago, so around 4:45 p.m., the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first, which would be very dangerous for the citizens of Iran, as you know. And then he ended it saying, thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Obviously, the citizens of Iran rely on that power for life-saving equipment, for air conditioning, I'm sure, for anything, really. And the fact that he's threatening this is pretty severe. So it's, in my opinion, a sign that he is getting desperate because things are not going according to plan. And I think we can all agree that things are not going according to plan.
Well, things can't go according to plan if you're always lying about everything. So, listen, I pray for the people that are stuck there because Donald Trump did not give American citizens proper warning in that region, and they're literally stuck there. I was listening to a woman last night. She was like, I go to sleep and I wake up to bombs. Yeah, because you didn't get a chance to get out of there. So this whole thing is a mess. It is a mess. And don't think for one moment, if Donald Trump takes their power plant out, you think they're not going to retaliate on you? Yeah, they're going to come and the same thing. They said they were going to start hacking and doing all kinds of things to the water system here, to the power grid. So, yeah, they're going to come back at us. You might be sitting in the dark too, Donald Trump. So, I pray for our young people. I'm seeing online how many of them that are over there don't want to fight this war. Because, even they know it was not necessary to start this war. So a lot of them are not feeling it, y'all. A lot of these people in the military are not feeling this war at all. So we shall see. I think it's going to be a lot of resistance. If Donald Trump does a draft, I think for the first time in the history of this country, you're going to have millions of people refusing. And he's not going to be able to do anything because you can't jail us all, right? So we all resist and don't want to give up our young people and our family. What is he going to do? And I hear many of our people saying, y'all don't even treat us right. Why should we fight for a country that hate us? So, attitudes are way, way different now, y'all. And that's a spirit that's coming upon the earth from the Most High. Donald Trump is getting a lot of resistance, but he's trying to put on this brave face and tell us we're winning everything. And it's a straight up lie, y'all. He needs to stop lying. So RLI, thank you for the super chat. This goes to show you they had no plan regarding Iran. Trump was told shutting down Hormuz would have a world effect, and he didn't care. Now he realizes What a joke of a president he is. Yes, he is. And thank you for your support from my channel. Oh, absolutely. And see, this is why I'm telling y'all, when this thing is done, America will have no respect in the world. Number one, you started a war that did not have to be started, and then you got defeated by the country you started the war with. Nobody is ever going to respect America again. Nobody's going to, no, they're already showing signs they're not scared of America no more. You know, Iran is showing them it's nothing to fear. That's what Iran is showing the world. You ain't got to be afraid of the US or Israel. We're kicking their asses. You don't have to be afraid of them. Ocean Soul, thank you so much for the super chat. Lisa, we're gonna need hair butter in our tanks. No, you won't need that. But you know what? One thing about us, there is no one more resilient in this world than us. They can turn the power off. They can cut all the gas stations. And guess what? We will still make it because we are built for hard times. Nobody will be able to overcome that like we will. You can best believe it. I wholeheartedly believe that. I'll be with you in a moment. Okay. Okay. Antithesis, thank you so much for the super chat. Back out ya supporting. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. RY 54 OD, thank you for your super chat. Iran is going in like DMX. Yeah, they most certainly are. Boy, I tell you. And you notice another thing about Iran, their strikes are accurate. I noticed that. I've been watching how accurate their strikes are. When they target a location, they get that location. They are very accurate. So, y'all, wow. Ocean Soul, thank you again for the super chat. Loretta, get all the catnip and hide the cherries. Yeah, you know, she is sleeping right now. But thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. But, you know, we just need to stay on top of everything. So, you know, if it wasn't for social media, you would never know what's going on. Look, Donald Trump is trying to use the FCC to stop all of the reporting of the war, where he's going to pull the license of every news channel that's reporting on the war. You know, you can forget it, Donald Trump. With this war going on, nobody's going to stop talking about it. That's wishful thinking. People are going to report on the war. People are going to talk about the war. People are going to talk about your failure in the whole thing, whether you like it or not. You think if you do that, it's going to just disappear. It's not going to disappear. It's not. And that's what he's attempting to do. He's attempting to shut down all voices when it comes down to this war. And he's not going to succeed, y'all. He's not. So I will see y'all at 1:45. I have my next live. And boy, we got a lot of things to talk about today. Shalom, family.